Hey there, guys. Happy Sunday night. We are wrapping up the weekend with more of the same. Temperatures way too hot for this time of year. It's September, and we're hitting 95 when we should be in the 80s by now, typically in the mid to latter half of this month. But we are heading into a very summer-like pattern as temperatures trend right around 96, 97, 98 for the next several days here in San Antonio. So something to keep in mind as you prepare for this last week of summer. Next Sunday, by the way, begins fall. And that's when hopefully we start to get stronger cold fronts moving in. And obviously with the new season comes new holidays. October brings Halloween, Thanksgiving, and then Christmas ultimately towards winter. So we're heading into an exciting time of year. Meantime, today was hot. It was 95. This morning's low 78, so very close to 80 degrees. Averages from 70 to 90. So both those numbers today were way above average for this time of year. Want to make sure audio is working A-OK. If you guys have any questions, feel free to comment down below. We'll be talking all things weather on this Sunday night, wrapping up the weekend. Last full weekend of summer, by the way. Today is high at 95. When you compare it to the last 4 to 5 days, very similar. Highs way above average again. The first week of September was awesome. We had highs below normal. We had cooler than average temperatures in the 80s. It was that time where we had nice mornings, crisp fall-like mornings, and then the heat came back, and today was 95. Yesterday was 95 as well. And the day before that, Friday, was 96. So again, hot weather. Much of this is going to continue over the next several days as high pressure will be our main player in the weather department. More on that in a second. 87 feels like 93 outside. It is very humid. That's been the big story of the last couple of days. You walk outside, whether it's in the morning or it's in the evening. If there's a light breeze around, it helps a little bit to get the air going. But the humidity is just so high, and what that's doing is contributing to a heat index. So the air temperature is one thing, but it contributes to a heat index which is 93 right now with an air temperature only at 87. So that's what it feels like outside. Today's highs, the only spot in the area that hit 100 degrees was Austin. That was 100 today, 98 in San Marcos, 92 at Fredericksburg, 89 in Del Rio because of cloud cover and some rain out west earlier today. Mainly towards Laredo and towards Corpus Christi was where the bank of cloud cover and rain was more abundant. Today's high at 95, temperature right now at 87 in the city, 79 at Bernie, 79 at Rock Springs, 83 at Del Rio. You can see rain in short supply in our area. There are a couple of showers north and east, and there were a couple of storms south towards the valley, towards Laredo last night, and towards Zapata County, Rio Grande City, Hidalgo County, McAllen. That's where they picked up a little bit more rainfall from earlier today, but we escaped dry. There were a couple of outflow boundaries, a couple of weak systems of rain between College Station, I-35, and towards far north Texas, but you can see as of now it's starting to fizzle out by the time it gets anywhere near the hill country. Some of the rain estimates you can see was mostly, again, down I-35 towards Laredo, where they picked up 4 to 5 inches of rain in Webb County. Same thing between the Rio Grande towards Cotulla, Laredo again on average between 1 inch to 3 to 4, and some localized pockets a little bit more from the last 24 hours. Okay, so the forecast for tomorrow, another sunny day, going to be nice, but in the afternoons we climb fast at 96 degrees. Going to be a mostly clear day. High pressure, our main player. Watch what happens over the next 3 to 4 days. Not much changes. It strengthens over Mexico and then kind of moves back and forth. You'll see by Friday, it starts to move a little bit farther north into Texas. What this will do is relatively keep rain chances very low. It's not until the weekend time, Saturday and Sunday, first day of fall, by the way, next Sunday. That's when rain chances creep back in, depending on how weak this ridge of high pressure gets and how far south it moves away from Texas. As long as it's right over Texas, it really keeps chances for rain very low and the heat up. I mean, take a look at this outlook for the next 6 to 10 days of the entire U.S. From, let's say, the Colorado Rockies all the way up into Montana. That's where they're expecting a little bit cooler air. Nothing insane or incredible. Below average temperatures for that part of the country, but for the most part, Midwest, Southeast, Northeast, and the South, including Texas and San Antonio. That's where we're expecting above average warmth. Not much rain. There is some rain in the forecast, not until pretty much next weekend, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. So 7 to 8 days out. Right now, it's not looking too impressive. Maybe a tenth of an inch, if not a little less than that, is in the forecast for the next week. So nothing that's impressive as of right now. Now, sometimes this time of year, September and early October, yes, fronts start to move through slowly, but also the tropics can still be pretty active. September is an active month. Now, the Gulf of Mexico is quiet right now. You look towards the East Coast, this is bringing some pretty good rain for parts of the Carolinas. This will be a remnant low. This is Tropical Depression 8. It is expected to become a tropical storm. This would be Helena, Tropical Storm Helena, the H storm, later on either tonight or tomorrow, likely to become a named storm by tomorrow. But right now it's Tropical Depression 8. Regardless, bringing rain to the Carolinas, Virginia, West Virginia, I should say, and some rain for the northeast towards Washington, D.C. Farther east you go in the Atlantic, in the open Atlantic, by the way, is Tropical Storm Gordon. From what I see right now, it is a tropical depression. I'll have to double check that, but to what I see, it was a storm earlier, but starting to weaken, probably because of a little bit of wind shear out there. And I think it'll stay relatively weak in the open Atlantic, not threatening land. But as it moves farther north, it'll regain momentum, become tropical storm status again, probably by Wednesday or Thursday later this week. But as you can see, nowhere near land. It is not an immediate threat for anyone at this point. And that is Tropical Storm Gordon. So no rain. Yeah, Nick, no rain in the forecast. Unfortunately, maybe sometime next weekend, but even that is looking slim. Right now, it's just the heat that takes over. This is the last week of summer. Fall officially begins, that should say Sunday, September 22nd. So let me just adjust that real quick, guys. Bear with me. Again, if you have any questions about the forecast, let me know. Not much to talk about. I mean, it's just going to be hot. In September, it can remain hot, and it is going to remain hot for this last week of summer. Fall officially begins on Sunday, September 22nd. So let me just adjust that real quick. So the beginning of fall, and that's when we start seeing, obviously, cold fronts move through, hopefully sooner rather than later. But yeah, it just signifies a nice shift in the climate, nice shift in the weather this time of year where, we get more frequent cold fronts, and hopefully that, again, happens a lot quicker than expected. But yeah, Nick, no rain in the forecast except, maybe Saturday, Sunday, Monday next week, but right now it's looking very low in the forecast. So there's your 14-day tomorrow, 97 Tuesday, a degree or two cooler through the week as a little bit more cloud cover moves in Thursday and Friday. Small chance of rain Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. That's all dependent on a system out to the west. And if that materializes, again, that's if, because some of the models have been going back and forth, and it looks like probably more likely than not, we'll stay dry, lower to middle 90s. Remember, this time of year, end of September, our average high is 89 to 90. And the fact that we're hitting 96, 97 these next several days, it is way too warm for this time of year. By the 24th and 25th, you can see a little bit different. It just depends on what happens after that 23rd and 24th. The first few days of fall will be very warm compared to average. And some of the models are depicting something tropical in the Gulf of Mexico by the 23rd and 24th. That's 7 to 10 days out. We'll see if that even verifies because, when you talk about forecast model guidance, 7 to 10 days out, it's most likely going to change. Right now, though, hot weather, summer-like weather, last week of summer. Fall begins on Sunday officially with a high of 93 forecasted, and then more summer-like heat for the next 14 days here in San Antonio with no significant rain chance in sight. But again, guys, last 5 to 6 days of summer, enjoy it. Fall begins on Sunday, and hopefully that means sometime by the end of this month or early October, we start getting fronts moving in, and that'll mean cooler, more fall-like weather in the forecast for early October. We'll cross our fingers. We're hoping it happens. But right now, the summer heat is taking over for these last 6 days of summer. Fall begins on Sunday. Let's see what happens by the end of September. Remember, it's still hurricane season. There are a couple of storms out there. Right now, no immediate threats to the Gulf of Mexico. Tomorrow, 97 on Tuesday, middle 90s through Friday and Saturday, with just a small chance at rain by the weekend. Right now, only running at 20 to 30%.